Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
You know it. Blowout number 2 to start the year for the Orange, 82-42. 82-42? 83-43. Even better. One more point for everybody. 38-point win in the opener on Monday. 40-burger today as the Orange easily to 2-0. Haven't said that in a while. We've said 2-0. We haven't said easily to 2-0 in a long, long time. As Delaware State's not great. Neither was Binghamton on Monday. But to see the Orange just absolutely freaking stomp somebody back-to-back games, it has been a long time since we've seen them do that to back-to-back opponents, regardless of how good those teams are. Donnie Freeman with 20, Kyan Anthony, first career start in place of the injured J.J. Starling with 19 were the two best on the court. Welcome in, chat. Yeah, what's up with that, Govendo? T-Takes, everybody joining us in. First of two post games today. We'll see how this goes. We're gonna get Red live for you here, I presume, sooner than later with his post game press conference here. And football kicks off just past 3:30 down in Miami. That could that could go not as good as this one. The final margin might be similar. We'll see. Jordan's still in a parking lot somewhere, right, putting lines down on that. Jordan's in the Dome, Govendo. If you want to, I think, loop back, you might be able to get some action on the Jordan Capozzi, which margin is going to be bigger, a line that he threatened to make for everybody today. So we'll either take it up till kickoff or for cranking, we'll play it by ear when we get out there. Govendo and T-Takes are both walking out of the Dome. Hold the show in the air. Let the people know. Let the people know what you're doing, what's up, find a neighbor, find a friend, find each other, Join the people out there. We got the link pinned top of the chat. As always, if you'd like to join the show at some point down the line here today as well. So lots of good stuff coming up on our post-game programs today. We will also, probably in not as good of a mood, be back here around about 4 hours from now, 7-ish, for a football post-game show after Syracuse and Miami. So we got all of that coming up today. And not many nits to pick out of this one, huh, people? I don't know if anybody, T-Takes, Govendo, whoever else has joined us thus far in the chat. I don't know what problems we're supposed to see out of this one. I said it during the week. No wrong answers yesterday. I don't know, where J.J. Starling is at with the right leg as a percentage-wise. T-Takes, good man. That's a good man. Crank the volume all the way too. Let the people know. 6 blocks for Kyle. He had 6 blocks. He's a jumpy sort, that William Kyle. 6 is a lot of blocks. The Orange had 12 blocks in the game. The Orange are going to block some shots now this year. They don't have a 7-footer that's actually going to play. I know Sheffing Dewara got in there extremely late, which was actually kind of odd. I thought they would just auto redshirt him this year, and that kind of undid that, so that was peculiar. But yeah, 12 blocks. Kyle is leapy, and I think the fact that you've got Kyle, Freeman, if Soiree is in there, Dewara actually had a couple blocks late in the game, and you add in what White can do, Sadiq. Like the fact that there's basically at all times there are 2 extremely jumpy fellows on the court, be it Donnie and Kyle, be it Donnie and Sadiq, or one of those 2 guys, and Soiree. Like, there's always 2 guys near the rim. Yeah, free throw shooting would be the one thing, and it wouldn't be like a year. What did they go today? 11 of 21. Cayenne on his ACC Network extra interview coming off the court. He, unprompted, said his 1 of 4 performance at the line was inexcusable. I am just going to presume that Cayenne's going to be a good free throw shooter. Like, it would be very weird to me if he was not. But yeah, he has struggled from the line in 2 games, and he had the roughest of games. Soiree missed a couple. Donnie Freeman missed 3, but he was 7 of 10, so it wasn't like it was a bad day from the line for Donnie. But as always, if the free throw shooting wasn't giving Syracuse fans heartburn for um, like 37 out of the last 40 years, then what's the point of it all? What's the point of it all if free throw shooting isn't going to drive us all to an early grave when we watch Syracuse basketball? But interesting, just a dominant game today. They're protecting the rim. They shot the ball. It started really slowly from three, but they ended up 8 of 21 from three. I like that. It's 38%. Like I'd sign on the line for a performance like that from Syracuse from the outside every game all season long if we could. It's not a crazy volume. It's not low, but it's not crazy in this day and age. 21 of their 55 shots from three. About 40%, give or take. Like, that's not a wild volume. And then you end up, now this won't happen every game, obviously. Syracuse shot 58% from the floor, and Delaware State, they wasn't putting up much resistance near the rim, but the Orange are willing to get the ball in the rim. Obviously, William Kyle is more than pleased. Donnie Freeman, though, I think is the biggest one. Donnie Freeman, we'll debate later in the show when we get to our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. It's obviously either Donnie or Cayenne. That's kind of flip a coin, and we can debate later on. Though let your thoughts be known now if you want to chime in early. I had an early lead to Freeman. I can go either way on it, but I tweeted this during the game, and it becomes more and more evident. It feels like by the minute we see Donnie on the court, that, like, we all know he was hurt last year. And even when, and this is unfair just because, you speculate, you do whatever. But even when Donnie was out for the year, how many people, instead of just assuming he was really hurt, decided that was him bailing on the season? We don't know him at all. Decided that was him bailing on the season and a way just to get to the portal faster. I think a lot of people, and, in this day and age of college sports, I can understand how people would get there. But I think a lot of people, based on how last season unfolded, just got the wrong impression of Donnie Freeman. And it becomes more and more evident by every second he spends on the court of how completely wrong all of those thoughts were. Because now that we see him healthy, like last year, it looked like, if you didn't know he was hurt, it's like, man, is he dogging it a little? Where's the effort? Oh, well, it turns out he couldn't run and jump, probably because he was in some significant pain. So this year, we're seeing a guy who clearly gives a crap. He's playing with motor. Like, he can handle the ball on the outside. He had that one nice assist. He kicked it out to the corner. Like, he's driving the basketball. He's getting to the rim. He's stronger now. He's absorbing contact. He's a willing participant from the free throw line. Like, he's not avoiding contact at the rim. He took 10 free throws today. Like, this Donnie Freeman, I understand all of the accolades he had coming in now. This Donnie Freeman, I get it 100% now. The dude is a stud, and if he stays healthy all year, just what a fantastic season he's going to have. Back-to-back 20-point games to open up the season. Paul, to your point, Nate Kings has really, really struggled from three to start the year here, and this is going to be interesting. Like, you'd presume this is going to heat up at some point just because he was a 40+% three-point shooter for Oregon State last year. That doesn't just evaporate. And it's not like he's option one on this team, so it's not like he's getting an undue amount of defensive attention. So, we'll see where that all ends up going. But it's going to be very interesting, I think, to see how that all plays out, because and add in the J.J. Starling injury, add in how Cayenne has played through 2 games and his pedigree. He's not going to shy away from this. We could, especially if J.J. misses another game or two. Now, the Orange don't play again for a week, so, who knows? I'd assume he'll be back out there. But, the minutes are going to start, the rotation's going to start going up. I'd imagine you look at the minutes for Bryce Zephyr. He had, 11 some odd minutes tonight. Those will end up going bye-bye. The Luke Fennell minutes, he hasn't shown much yet this year. I could see those going bye-bye. But you could see, regardless of who starts and who plays, you've got this 4-man rotation now between point guard, shooting guard, and small forward, where you're looking at the Nates, George, and Kings, JJ and Cayenne looks like he's ready for it. And then you've got your 4 or 5 guys on the front line, and Tyler Betsy can kind of fling back and forth between a 3 and a 4, depending on how you want to use him. But between Sadiq and Kyle and Donnie Freeman and Swarry, Adam Betsy, like that's 9 right there, and you feel pretty good on that. And mismatch, that could happen. Yeah, they're not really dialing up half-court sets, but what I think they are doing, which didn't happen the first 2 years under Red, is, and again, we'll see what this happens against better opponents, they're increasing the pace of the game because of their defense, which is then allowing the offense to get out and run and play in open space. And that is happening because the defense is actually playing aggressively and effective and rim protecting and getting the ball and going. And the point guard this year, Nate George, is willing to get the ball and capable of getting the ball and going. Again, it's just Binghamton and Delaware State. This team's got parts here. Like if Nate Kings doesn't, like if JJ comes back and Nate Kings doesn't shoot the ball well, like you could easily go George, Starling, and Cayenne 1, 2, 3. Like that's a thing you can do. Like you've got a lot of options here. You can go big at some point with like Betsy at the 3 and Donnie at the 4. Like you have a lot of different ways to play here. And while you don't have, I'd say, a traditional backup point guard per se, I feel reasonably decent with, for, limited minutes, but you can have either JJ or Cayenne. Like you can do a JJ Cayenne backcourt when Nate George is getting a break and not be worried about things just, falling into the abyss. So I like the options that are available here for the Orange. I think they're all good options to have available. No Red yet, but we have a podium. No Red yet, but we have a podium. Red Autry presumably sooner than later here for the post-game press conference as we continue to work you toward kickoff of just past 3:30 today down in Miami. Yeah, Tom, and thanks for joining the chat. Tom K, Mitch Match, Paul, everyone that's chiming in so far. After the Red press conference, if you want to get in with a live video call, you can, as I said, join the fun, because who's not having fun? The link is pinned top of the chat there, and we can get you on. We can get you on with a video call, or if you want to be like all sorts of mysterioso, you can be this guy. You can go incognito mode. We've got all the options available for you here on the 315 post game here, as brought to you by our good friends at where's the at Wild Birds Unlimited. Wild Birds Unlimited. We can show you the backyard bird cam as well. Yeah, Cayenne, Tom, and his schedule. It's very interesting because I think we were all careful to say coming in, it's like, hey, let's hold it a beat. Let's be fair to him. He's not as good as his dad, because what a ridiculous comparison that would be to make. He's pretty darn good, though, huh? Just because he's not as good as his dad, just because he's not, the best player in the country, and I get it, it's Binghamton and Delaware State. Cayenne's not overwhelmed by the idea. He's been around. What? You're not Red. What? You're not Red. You're Delaware State's coach. Do we want to hear from Delaware State's coach? Say something nice about Syracuse, Delaware State's coach.
Coach, their length and athleticism seem to give you a lot of trouble by the rim.
What is happening?
Is it about that made it so tough for you guys to kind of finish inside?
It was a really tough day for us shooting the basketball. I don't know if we can play any worse. I hope we can't play any worse than we played today. And give them some credit. I thought their defense, like you said, their length and their size had a lot to do with it, the physicality. I've been watching a lot of Syracuse basketball over the years, and this is a different brand of basketball. It's not Coach Boeheim's 2-3. These guys are pretty athletic, and they're getting after it. I mean, they're long, they're athletic, they're challenging, contesting every shot, and they make it hard on you. They really do.
Stan Waterman is his name, Delaware State's coach. I'm sure Boeheim's teams were pretty darn athletic, though, when they were cooking. That's a fact, Govendo. They're doing well because of the pace of play. That's what is allowing all this, and it's what Red wanted for 3 years.
Certainly, we recognize that there are levels to this, right? And you can see the difference in the level from where we are and where they are and where we hope and aspire to be. And that's why we try to put games like this on the schedule to see how the big boys do it. And you can see the difference, as I talked about, the physicality, the execution, the concentration, the depth. I mean, there's a difference. And you saw the difference today. But we're not as bad as we look today. Yes,
there's a coach who knew he was in the deep end of the pool today. I do like their logo. It's a sharp-looking hornet. That's a really sharp-looking hornet.
I would love to say it was around the basket and around the rim with their length. They bothered some shots and made it tough. You got to finish
12 blocks. Syracuse
over that
had 12
size and that length. But we missed a lot of wide open looks too. And again, they contest every shot. They're they're athletic. They close out hard to the ball. Even in the backcourt, they make you handle it. And you're well into the shot clock by the time you get over the half-court line, and so that makes it tough on your offense. So I thought they were really, really good defensively today.
Yeah, I'd say the question here from these two games is, it's overwhelming these teams. What's that going to do to, North Carolina, who looked great last night against Kansas in the second half?
Make some shots on the perimeter. You can put it on the deck. Again, he's been around the game of basketball his whole life, so that's nothing new to him. But every time I see him, it looks like he's getting better and better, and I would say that's the prospectus that he's going to continue to get better. He's special.
That was Guy and Anthony.
Coach, you talk about how good you think Donnie Freeman is. He has another great game today, 20 points.
Nobody's going to ask him about his team.
On the other sideline, watching him go to work.
It's tough to guard him. I mean, I think he's pretty versatile, that length and the size that he has, but you put the players that they have around him, and that makes it even tougher. You can't give any extra attention to him. You got to be able to guard him one-on-one, and obviously we weren't able to do that. And quite honestly, I don't know how many teams in the country will be able to do that. As long as they keep those pieces around him and they move and share the ball the way that they did, they're going to be tough to beat.
All right, get Red in here. Let's get Red in here. Stan Waterman.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right,
it.
there we go. Does anyone want to know about my team? No? No? That's a no? Okay, nobody wants it. Sorry, Stan. But thank you for being pleasant and saying a few nice things, answering everybody's questions about Syracuse and being prompt with it. All right, Red, let's come on. Keep it moving. Sadiq, if Sadiq mismatch, like he's got a little handle for his size, he's got the effort, he's got the defensive know-how. We've seen him make shots. If he can develop a legit jumper, here's Red, that'll really help at the next level. Adrian Autry.
I thought our first half was really good on both ends of the floor. I thought defensively we really got after it. I thought we had some great possessions. I thought we communicated. We make them take tough shots. We got a couple of fouls that got them to the free throw line, or the defense would have been really pretty much lights out the first half. I thought Cayenne really set the tone in the first half on the offensive end by just getting to the basket, making some plays. But Will Cal and Donnie, Will Cal was a man tonight. I just thought he really set the tone, on the offensive glass and defensive glass, and just protecting the rim, and that's what we need from him. I thought he really set the tone for us, and I like where Sadiq was at. Sadiq came back and gave us some energy today and flew around a little bit. Tyler Betsy, our whole front court really came in, and I thought all of those guys did a really good job. Overall, so I was, things that we have to work on, continually work on and get better at, obviously. But I thought our defensive effort was there, for at least, about 28 minutes of the game. We still got to work on having that intensity for 40 minutes and finishing plays. We got to do a little bit better job of finishing plays. But it's only our second game. We just got to keep getting better. And that's what we'll do. When we get back in the next week, just continue to focus on things that we need to get better at.
Coach, what impressed you about Cayenne and Donnie today?
I thought Cayenne really, set the tone, because sometimes, as a scorer, you can not as a scorer. He's a basketball player, first of all. That's what I really want to say. People keep saying, I know he says a 3-level scorer. He's a really good basketball player. He can pass, he can score, he can make plays. So, but I thought him, getting to the rim aggressively. I thought Donnie getting to the rim aggressively set the tone. Right, we didn't settle. Right, we took a couple of threes that we gotta talk about that. But I thought overall, the first probably 10 shots, we really got to the basket.
How's that, T-Takes? We made some adjustments for you. I think we took care of it.
Anything to him before the game or even this past week leading up to it?
Yeah, no, I said something to him this morning. He's starting.
Red, not a jokester.
What would you like the crowd to do?
I would like the crowd to go crazy because that's such a, that's very hard to do, to get 3 stops in a row. And that's just something that we really worked on the defensive end to get that a defensive identity. It's some statistics behind it. So we're always, trying to hunt and get stops. Again, not relying on our offense. And again, today was a perfect example. Offense is still kind of choppy, but our defense, did its job, and it allowed us to, get some easy points in transition. And it allows us to get our offense when it gets going. That can kind of create the separation, which, I thought we did that in the second half.
Yeah, if the Orange have a game like this where they legit shoot it, they could easily hit 100.
In the offseason, what would you put at the top of that list? Was it, like you mentioned, 40-minute intensity? Was it you got to get back to basics, a little bit of everything? What was your focus in trying to get the defense better?
Mentality, disruptive. Those are the words we talked about, being disruptive, hunting. Those are the words that we describe. That's how we play. We don't want anyone to be comfortable. We want to get after people, and we're going to give us some stuff. That's fine. But everything is contested, whether it's a jump shot, at the rim, anything, right? That's what we worked on this summer. And it is really about the mentality, because defense is about a mentality, and that's what we're continuing to work on and improve it. We're not there yet, but right, this is a start in the right direction, so.
I like Fred in such a big year that, regardless of what happens, at least he's getting to do it his way this year. At least he has the roster for it.
Yeah, it's a certain number, but I'm not going to give those numbers up. But no, we've I think it was just a collective group of just watching programs. Every really good defensive program, they have whatever their thing is, and we had a little bit of help, but overall, I think it helped us, and it helped our guys to really kind of really buy into it. And again, it's not there yet. We're just in the infancy stages of it.
Red's talking about a new meter in the dome. It counts up to 3 stops in a row on defense, and you're supposed to cheer or something.
It's going to be successful. We recruited it that way. That's my vision. And we're going to play 8 or 9 guys. 9 guys. That's what we'll probably play. Not probably. We will play. That's how we're going to play this year. Right. So, I know you guys will have some questions afterwards, later on in the season, but that's how we're going to play. That's how this team is going to be successful. That's why the intensity and the level that we play at has to be at a certain level to execute the vision and the plan for us.
No, MD. The roster was incapable last year of playing that way. He wanted to, but they couldn't.
How do you want them to have, especially?
I think they've really, having JJ and Donnie coming back, and then just through the process, a lot of the recruiting process, when we went to the portal, we wanted to recruit guys that kind of played both sides of the ball, or they came from a certain program that was known for that. It was a little bit of both, so the buy-in was a little bit easier.
In terms of that defensive mentality, how does that stretch over to when teams get inside the paint?
Yeah, funding helped also.
Those big men to be.
We got a challenge. They're going to get into the paint, right? But we can't give up. We got a challenge, right? We got to be disruptive. We got to contest. We got to fight, right? That's what we have to do.
Yeah, the last they said, Ian, was day-to-day. Helps when you're blowing people out. You don't go to rush it, right?
Yet, but we expect him back pretty soon.
All right, there was the JJ answer. They expect him back pretty soon. Their next game is a week from today.
What is it like for you to see that development and to know that Melo did all that work?
I think first of all, I really, when you talk about Melo, someone in like not only just Kyan, but all of the players on my team, and their families entrusting us with their kids means a lot, right? It means a lot. The one thing about Kyan is it's exciting to see, like, he's nowhere near what he can be. And to watch him continually grow and continually make effort every day, and that's the challenge, for him. And the way he handles himself, I marvel at the way that he's just one of the guys, and he comes in and he works like the rest of the guys. So I'm excited to play a small part of continually pushing and challenging him and developing him.
Brad, you guys had 22 points off the bench tonight. What do you hope to see from a couple of those other guys?
Bench scoring question?
To make even more of an impact, especially later on in the season.
Just do what we ask them, play hard, be aggressive, offense and defense.
Here you go, Indy.
That's really it. We don't, again, I'm not putting these guys in a box. These guys, some of our guys that come off the bench, a lot of them could start, and so, I want them to come in there, and when it's their time on the court, play, right? We don't want to be passive. If we're going to make mistakes, we're going to make aggressive mistakes, right? That's what I want them to continue to do that.
One more. Coach, looking at William Kyle, just his first couple games, play around the rim, what you've seen from him inside?
He's been tenacious in my opinion. He's used his speed, he's used his strength, he's used his motor. Again, I think people are starting to see. I think today, with 4 assists. And I think once he got here, you realize that he can do some more things. He can put it on the floor a little bit. He has a great feel, pass, and again, he's still. He's a guy that I love because he plays with that chip and he plays with that emotion.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
There he is. Adrian Autry. Ian. Miami could throw 5 interceptions, and Ricky Collins. He could try to one-up that situation. He'd be like, 5, That's cute. That's cute. All right, link pinned top of the chat if anybody wants to join with a post-game call today. There is Red. What are we right now? We are closing. It would appear on kick time. Closing on kick time down in Miami. That's just that's just a terrifying thought, is it not? Well, I think Miami. Was Miami ever really the second best team in the country? Probably not. But they got to be pissed after that loss to SMU last week. They got to be pissed. They got to be pissed after that one. That was not a good look for Indiana. Did he catch? Oh, touchdown. What a catch. Indiana was losing, and they have just retaken the lead. Did he get his foot in bounds? Holy crap, what a catch. That's a ridiculous catch. That is a ridiculous catch by some guy in Indiana that definitely has a name. Let's watch another replay. They're showing the replay on ESPN right before they go to the Syracuse game. The bottom line is getting in the way of the replay. Like, his right foot is coming down. It's not getting to the ground. It's about to go out of bounds, and somehow he just, extended his left foot and toe tapped it to take the lead in the final 30 seconds. That was an amazing catch by guy on Indiana. There's a guy in Indiana. Hey, MD, I'll take that. If you're telling me, this year's football is last year's basketball, I read that backwards. Hopefully this year's basketball will be last year's football. If we had to deal with this football, hopefully basketball will get back to being basketball. Come on, Lockout. You're just, I'm a YouTube TV subscriber. You're just not being resourceful enough with your password acquisitions. Is that a nice way to put it? You've got to be resourceful in your password acquisitions to then be able to acquire passwords so you can watch things. Yeah, I refuse to say more. I will not incriminate myself or others. But there we are. Oh, here that looks like Miami. All right, they have gone to Miami. They're showing a shot of the water. The stadium itself is nowhere actually near water, but that is beside the point. Man, Syracuse's other trip to Miami in ACC play, so this was Dungy 2017. The I'm going up the elevator at what is it called? Hard Rock Stadium. And they've done they've done a lot of renos there and they've done a lot of cool stuff. And I got off the elevator because they've also moved for all the cool stuff. They're like, hey, media, screw you. So the radio broadcast booth is beyond, to the left corner of an end zone. It makes zero sense. It's not connected to the press box. It's just out in left field. So I'm like, okay, I'd been down on the field or something. I'm trying to get back up to the booth. And I know it's floor 3 or 4 or whatever it was. I get off, not paying attention. Elevator dings, walk out of the elevator, and I walk almost into a hostess at a nightclub. I'm in a nightclub. And it was a noon kick. And I'm like, what? Where? It's 10 in the morning. This is definitely a nightclub. What is happening? They're like, oh yeah, just go that way, and you pop out the door, and you're back in a normal stadium hallway, and it was 2 booths down, and we were in the broadcast booth. It is the most bizarre thing that I've ever walked through in a stadium. There's Sebastian the Ibis. He's got a sweater. It's sweater weather down in Florida. Sebastian's got a sweater. All right, so we'll keep it here for a bit. Again, if you want to join in vis-a-vis the video chat, the link is pinned top of the chat, and you can join us. How about now as we get toward the start of the football game, how about we name our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game, as we always like to do. Live, we go to the Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Camp. Ooh, a leaf just fell down. That was an action shot. All is quiet in the backyard right now. There are no birds at the bird feeder. We had some action just a few minutes ago, so it's very possible that we could that maybe we'll get a live bird while we're giving out our Wild Birds Unlimited Backyard Bird Camp Player of the Game. So, chat, we can group deliberations today. It's one of 2 choices. Donnie Freeman had 20. Kyan Anthony had 19. Donnie got a little foul trouble in the second half. Donnie was excellent early. Kyan had a very solid game throughout in his first career start. So, Chet, what say you? My initial lean is Donnie, but Kyan was also excellent today. Anybody have a lean on our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game here? Or you could go off the board and pick somebody else. It would be kind of wacky. MD going Freeman. All right. Early vote in for Donnie. That's my first thought. I just, healthy Donnie Freeman is, revelation's the wrong word, but the revelation is how hurt he must have been last year. The revelation is how hurt he must have been last year. William Kyle from Paul, because he couldn't have done the stuff he's doing this year last year. And I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm saying he couldn't have done it physically. He didn't have the explosion. He didn't have the quickness. He didn't have any of that stuff. So, yeah, I think I'm going to agree with the majority here. Kyan, I think, he's well aware of where we thought he could be, where he hoped he might be. But I'm going Donnie Freeman, 20 points, and just looks right. He looks like the 5-star recruit we were told Syracuse was getting last year. Injuries played a part. He missed half the season, and transfer speculation and the whole thing that happens in college sports these days. Donnie's back. Donnie looks happy. Donnie's mom, when they cut to her in the crowd in the second half, was wearing this orange blazer and these big block blue glasses. Just fantastic, Mrs. Freeman. That was a dynamic look, and you were pulling it off with aplomb. I thought it was great. Any of us would have looked terrible wearing it. Donnie's mom looked outstanding. And yeah, William Kyle takes, to your point, I think he's going to be a fan favorite all year because he plays with, he can jump out the gym and he plays with ridiculous energy. Yeah, Mitch Match, that play was the one that I was like, oh, Donnie was guarding a guy in the perimeter. Guy was trying to cross him over. He reached in with the left hand, just deftly, boop, knocked the ball out, gathered it at midcourt, got the dribble, took it to the rim, slammed it home. I'm like, he couldn't have done any of that with the quickness, the athleticism, the touch, any of the stuff that required. Donnie couldn't have done that last year. And it's not because he wasn't capable as a basketball player. He wasn't capable with the health of his foot. He wasn't healthy last year, and it clearly bothered him all season long up until the last game that he played last year, which is when JJ came back, the Florida State game, where it looked like he could barely move up and down the court. So I think that's just I think his health has shown us that, like, any negative thoughts about his attitude or effort or whatever last year was all so misguided. It was just the dude was hurt. And this year, you can tell he's a positive force. He's a positive vibe. He's playing with effort, intensity, and he's just really freaking good. So there we are. Well, let's go. Donnie Freeman with our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game as we explore the backyard bird cam. No birds have landed while we're talking about this. How did Sean and Devo do, Gavendo? Devo was excellent as always. We'll leave it at that. Devo does a really nice job. He's really well prepared, and yeah, he's doing great things. Was still the looking at the first guy to work a game with Devo in the way back. I put him on the right path. All right, Miami ball to start the game. Oh man, these uniforms look an awful lot like when things end up being 59-3. It's almost an interception on the first play of the game by Delaware. Oh man, that got exciting. That almost got exciting real fast. I'll say this, like, if Syracuse has any chance at all of hanging in this game, like, Carson Beck's got to throw a handful of picks, and Carson Beck is, like, ready, willing, and able to throw multiple interceptions. Like, he's not afraid to throw the ball to the other team. All right, should we, how long have we gone here? We've gone, let's see if we've gotten any calls here. I don't want to end the show if anybody wants to chat, but we got to check the old proper tab for that. Let's keep this. We'll stay here through at least Ricky Collins' first drive of the game, right? And just see how, just see if our moods immediately go in the tank. Yeah, Miami can do just exotically dumb things. MD. That is the hope. That is the hope. Like, Miami is capable of just handing games away. It's crazy they don't get. I mean, the stadium. I feel bad for them. Like, since they demolished the Orange Bowl, that stadium is nowhere near campus. Like, nowhere near campus. It's got, like, Miami is such a sprawling area. That stadium's got to be 45 minutes from Coral Gables. It's, and I get the Orange Bowl was old and whatnot. It's too bad they don't have a stadium remotely near campus. It is just so far away. You can't just get there easy if you're a student, there's no college vibe to it. It's a pro stadium. It's a parking lot with the building in the middle. That's what it is. Oh, Miami converts the first down on the opening possession. You would have gone Cayenne, Gavendo. Like, I could have gone either way on it. Cayenne's excellent. And I think what Cayenne's shown us here is that he's ready. Like, he's not dead, but he's ready. And by being ready, like, Syracuse is going to be able to play those guard like, if any combination of JJ or Kings, not really George, but, like, if Kings is having a bad game and Kings hasn't shot it well of late, Kings hasn't shot it well so far to start the season, but man, the last day of this cult has lasted a week. But, like, you could easily go George, Starling, Cayenne. Easily go George, Starling, Cayenne. Who got that sack? Who did? Oh, that was Davian Kerr on a blitz. Oh, and Gary Bryant. Gary Bryant's not been playing well of late, and he's been hurt. Nice play. Little blitz. I like that the Orange remembered that blitzing was allowed a few games ago. That was nice. All right, chance here for a third down stop. And then we'll see a little Ricky Collins in our lives. Yeah, we'll see a little Ricky Collins in our lives and see if we can all handle that. Because nothing ever goes horribly wrong within the first few plays of games that he starts. Nothing. Ever. If Carson Beck wants to throw a pick six here, that would be really, really useful. That would be just a fantastic thing for the Orange. All right, we just want one look at Ricky Collins here before we wrap up our basketball postgame. We'll be back here when this one's over. We'll do a little football postgame tonight. I could match, but see, the other side of the coin is I don't necessarily feel like it is the thing. Like this, I'd say this for 3.5 hours is less compelling than you'd think. All right, we got a punt. We got a punt coming. Punt time. Like if I could, wow, like could I put the game on the screen? Like technologically wise, I could put the game on the screen. Yes, T-Takes. If somebody wanted to pay me to do a watch party, that's a whole different thing. The punt has gone directly into the end zone, and Ricky Collins will be set up 1st and 10 at the 25. Like if I could legally put the game on the screen and we could double box it and do it, like Peyton and Eli, and like if we could do that, that would be different. But that would also be a very, very direct violation of every broadcast contract that exists. So we're gonna pass on that. If we could legally do that, like I could pop that puppy right up on the screen. We could, I could do it. Technologically wise, it's a thing I could do. It's a thing I could do. We got meetings. We got meetings going on. T-Takes meetings. We're having meetings. We're meeting with people. Oh, the birds pay well enough, Cavendo, but we need some other people to also pay. Well, that's what we need. We've got meetings. We've got people. We've got hopefully things. Hopefully things on the burner. So hopefully we'll be bringing some more exciting stuff to where the Wild Birds thing is on the screen, having it rotate with other fine sponsors soon. Hopefully. Or, I could get a real job or something, but that doesn't seem very fun. Like that sounds like an atrocious idea. So we're going to keep trying to find some sponsors for this thing. It's real fun. Selling sponsorship. It's great. It's enjoyable in every way that it could be. So if you're a person that has gotten an email from me in the last 2 months and hasn't replied, feel free to hit that reply button. That would be fantastic. Commercials. Show me Ricky Collins. Don't make me regret this. As much as we hated the Ricky Collins experience, I think they had to go back to him today. Like with the Carney red shirt thing, I don't think I could do another day of lacrosse player quarterback. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah, T-Takes. It's something out there. Luke Wilson has a commercial for something. The heck is Root Metrics? Is it a smartphone commercial? I don't know what Luke Wilson's slinging. Luke's starting to look a little old. The Wilson bros, not young and boyish anymore. All right, let's go. Get me back to Ricky Collins. Show me Ricky. I just wonder, I wish they had managed the quarterback situation differently. So even if Carney's not ready, I said this going into the last bye. Like you had the 2 byes, which are great opportunities to have an extra week to get a quarterback ready. There's a bye after this game, 2 games left, but you've backed yourself into a corner where Carney can only play 1 if you're going to redshirt him. If you hadn't put him in for 2 series last week, when you sort of know this was all developing, you could have then just come out and been like, all right, we got 2 games for Luke to start. Especially, if when they lose today and there's no more chance to make a bowl game. Okay, there's keys to victory. Defense, generate turnovers. Offense, win the one-on-one matchups on the perimeter. Yeah, they need Ricky to throw it to somebody. All right, Ricky Collins, back of the field. Interesting, Will Nixon in as the running back on the first down play. Nixon getting the opening game carry instead of Yasin Willis, who's not been great of late. Ricky Collins has made it 1 play in without throwing an interception. I also can say Mitch Match because I can see the amount of viewers. Like, watch parties, unfortunately, just do not drive views in a compelling way. Collins, what do you got, Collins? All right, a throwaway that got out of bounds. Okay. We've almost made it to punt the clock. Okay, Ricky. Third down and long. Can you get Stonehouse onto the field? Again, we'll do a post game for this. We can talk a little more hoops later as well when football wraps up. But say after this drive, we'll lean into, go our separate ways for a bit and focusing. Oh, the handoff on 3rd and long, and it works for our first down. Oh, man. Okay. Sure, the handoff on 3rd and long worked for a first down. All right, that was like a white flag play call, and I got a first down out of it. Absolutely. All right, Ricky. Well, they're splitting linemen out. Oh, they're getting wacky. What a wacky formation this is. So what, they split a bunch of linemen out, kept 3 linemen in, and then ran it up the middle? I don't know if that's the creativity you're necessarily going for. And then Yasin Willis just runs into a guy. Man, I thought I get the line hasn't been great. Byron Washington ain't getting another start. But Yasin's season has really fallen off the rails here. And again, a lot of that is the quarterbacks or the defense just doesn't have to respect. I thought they said Travion Mack wasn't starting at left tackle. He's starting at left tackle. Hey, a little swing to Villari. All right, now you're calling all right, Jeff Nixon, if you are actually calling this game. And Jelly wasn't missing this trip to Florida. Smart man, Steve. Like, Coach, I'll go on a road game. I'll come. Yeah, will you mind the flight? Yeah, it's all right. I'll go to Miami. Well, we'll figure it out. A very long camera shot on the guy with the torn Achilles. Well, no longer torn. A repaired Achilles. Ooh, Yasin Willis, a hard-charging 0-yard gain off left tackle. And Jelly slowly getting off the Powerade cart. Hobbling about. Powerade towel. In case you were unaware, Syracuse is a Coca-Cola school now. Fran looking a little sweaty from the brow. All right, Ricky, what do we got? They have not let Ricky really air it out yet, so they are avoiding at all costs him throwing away the game early today. Okay. At least this is working a little better than it did last week with the lacrosse player at quarterback. I feel bad calling Joe Filardi the lacrosse player, but hopefully that's what he becomes, and he becomes a really good one. Okay, 3rd and medium-ish. What do we got here on 3rd and medium-ish? Are you going to run the ball again on 3rd and medium to long? What do you got for us, Ricky? Are you going to uncork one? Okay, Ricky sprays it 5 yards errant wide to the left out of bounds. All right, that's more like it. But no, didn't get intercepted. We like that. No interceptions. Made it out of a drive without getting intercepted and allowing Jack Stonehouse to do some work. This guy is dangerous. The guy here that is not Kadarius Toney, Malachi's his name. They're not related in any way. This dude, we'll stay through this punt because this dude's electric. This dude is absolutely electric. They're number 10 back to receive the punt for the Canes. So don't let him return the ball because he is electric. Hey, a fair catch. Good job, Stonehouse. Ooh, did it stay out of the end zone? Did that not go over? What a punt. Get it, Jack. And his mustache. Backs him up to the 2. Fantastic. That didn't break the plane? Oh, that didn't. What a kick by Stonehouse. That, hit dead at the 2 and just stopped. He just backspun the wedge perfectly. Tap in. Beautiful. All right, everybody. That's going to wrap up our post-game show for basketball. We'll be back here probably around 7 whenever football goes final to put the wraps on this one. Scoreless halfway through the opening quarter, Syracuse and Miami. The Orange absolutely pound Delaware State today. Win the game by 10, 83-43. No midweek game this week. They'll be back in action next Saturday. I keep forgetting this Drexel game is in Philly. Like that, I keep assuming it's in the Dome. It's not. So a little bigger test for the Orange next Saturday. But enjoy the game. Hopefully nothing terrible has happened yet. And then we'll be back here yet again later this evening. We'll talk again then.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.